Yeah, absolutely. So before we jump into the whole conversation, and I'm very, very curious where it's going to take us today, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Audrey, and I spell it Audrye. That is the correct way that I prefer it to be spelled. Introduce myself. Okay, so some of the way I know myself, I'm a born mystic intuitive, and metaphysics is normal to me. Being able to sense, to see, to feel, I'm an empath, to know things. I'm made that way. I am made
Mm-hmm.
that way. Does that mean I know everything all the time? No. No one does. You watch it. If someone says they know everything all the time, go in another direction because it's not given quite that way, especially
Mm-hmm.
right now. In fact, I've just discovered that and I teach people how to raise frequency. I do with breathing attunements, my courses. I have 3 online courses. I am an artist. This one over here, that one is
Yeah.
called, here, can you see it? That one is called Pockets of Peace. Okay, now I'm back. And my work, the art, is called Audrey Om Art, art that opens the heart. I start with an Om. I meditate. I lift my frequency. I do this for everything. I did it before I came here to speak with you all. I do it
Mm-hmm.
before I do readings. I'm called a lot of things. I am called a psychic, a clairvoyant, a medium, um, any of those positive kinds of words. I have 4 books. Vim, Vigor, Vitality, Vegan, which gives you my lifestyle. This one, where is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lifting Its Consciousness, Healing Racism, Sexism, and Other Isms, and my latest online course, which has some of that material in it, plus a whole lot more, is called Ism Freedom, Be Free of the Causes and Effects of Racism, Sexism, and Other Ism. Because all of those things to me are attitudinal diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was saying that I have recently learned that what I called raising one's frequency, other people, and I do call it that, other people sometimes call it going into the 5th dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I've been doing this now for years. And then I read in a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, he calls it, from what I can gather, the quantum field. So without my ever having used that language, that's what I go into and kind of float around, okay, energetically. And so if I'm understanding what I read of him, that's kind of natural for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I go into it totally all the time because we wouldn't function here. And I just read today some kind of post that there's now another way of determining time, not just with a clock. And I forgot the exact term, but it had to do with being in the quantum field. So I thought,
Interesting.
this whole stuff is now coming in. So what am I? I am a person who, okay, I'm amazed at the stuff that comes out of my mouth. In using American woke language, I am a cisgender female.
Interesting. So, I mean, there are a lot of labels and a lot of words that can be applied to your person, but from what you have written also in your book, for example, in your books in general, um, you have a very strong opinion about all those labels. Yeah.
I think too many labels get in the way
Mm-hmm.
because we're not just labels. That's not what we are. Most people, honestly, are beyond labels. It's nice to have certain ways to distinguish some of what we are so we know something about what we're speaking. But even with that, people don't always know. Like a lot of people use the term black folks and white folks. I say black,
Mm-hmm.
brown, beige because it isn't just black and white. There's a lot of people that are mixed race. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody wants to acknowledge it. I'm an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I can see what I'm looking at. If it's close enough, if it's like far, far away, then I might need a little bit of help. But it's obvious to me, not everybody is just one thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I myself made a biracial with my ex. Okay, I didn't do it myself. A biracial daughter. So she's not black. She's not white. I called her my golden girl because to me, her skin, her complexion was gold. Now she identifies as brown because that's kind of like the categories that
Mm.
people could be in. And
And what do you feel about those categories? I mean, do you feel they are necessary for us to really distinguish, what we are or who other people are? Or would you say, with the work you also do energetically, in the real sense, it's not really necessary to have any of those?
no, when I'm working energetically with somebody, all that stuff is irrelevant.
Mm.
I tune in, I see whatever I see, I'm shown whatever I'm shown, I feel whatever I feel, I share it. If I'm doing energy healing and doing whatever it is with whomever the person might be, that stuff is irrelevant. Where it becomes relevant, if anybody is in on the earth realm, this mostly third dimensional realm that many of us are in, even if we go in and out of the fourth, fifth quantum, and whatever the next thing is,
Mm-hmm.
okay, there's something I call genetic karmic patterning. Some people call it ancestral conditioning, genetic karmic patterning that the guides showed me around 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Um, has to do with when someone is born, they not only get the physical characteristics somewhat of the parents or whoever may be. Now we have CRISPR, so it's not always just a mom and a dad, it's other people that might be contributing to the genome of the person being born. So I'm looking to really use language that's going to be inclusive. I don't care if it's politically correct or not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing so that what I'm saying is speaking the truth, not just for this second, but for the next year or two or beyond, because it's all going to be growing and shifting and changing, especially with
Mm.
Aquarius. So things are changing a lot. And so when that becomes important is people have had different concerns, issues, conditioning that's been impacted by that. Certainly in the United States, and that's the only country right now that I've ever really lived in. I've visited others and stayed there for
Mm.
weeks or months or whatever, but I'm from this country. And I can tell you that people for sure have been affected by that. That's why the course is in freedom, be free of the causes and effects of racism, sexism, and other isms. And people who act racist and go, no, it's not me, or people who are Semites, anti Semitism, people that do ageism, people that have sexism, any of this. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't want to acknowledge it. They just think they're correct or better. And what happens is, and scientists have done work on this, and I know it as a walking intuitive and an empath. When people have any of that, it hurts everyone. It hurts
Mm.
everyone, and it isn't the truth.
Mm.
Not the truth. And when people are living a lie, we're not even going to get into what's going on in my country with that. Okay, we're just going to. But when people are living lies and propagating lies, it confuses everything, throws everything off. It adds to confusion. And then when people want to grow, and the people that I deal with, my clients, people who purchase my art, the people I deal with are all people who choose to grow. And I
Mm.
definitely deal with black, brown, beige, tan, white people. I deal with the whole gamut. It's my lifestyle. So I don't only know what I'm talking about as though it's a theory. I live this. And I have lived this for many, 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 many years. And I have, when I say I and I'm doing healing work, it isn't the ego identity called Audrey. It's me and my higher self and the guides that come through. No, they will not. Well, there was time I was channeling and they did speak through me. Okay, that's okay. But when the energy comes through, because it's never just me. These paintings, although it's me who does them and these little hands and everything, I am in an uplifted space. I have meditated, lifted my frequency, done prayer, and asked, and we do it together, the guides and I. Okay, it's not like we're there and I have a conversation, but it just comes out. And every time I'm done with the painting, or I used to use pen and ink, honestly, I am amazed. I am truly amazed. And I tend to ask, who did this? And I really,
Yeah.
really, and I never know what they're going to look like till they're done, because they get created as they're getting created.
Yes. And something just popped into my head as I was listening to you. Like you mentioned, you have been around and doing all this for a very long time. So, when did you realize that you had those gifts or those abilities? And, how did you start out in the beginning as that person that can raise frequencies and, that can sense things that maybe other people will not sense?
Well, I've always been an intuitive.
Mm.
I'm born this way. So for a while, I thought everyone was like this. I didn't think this was anything that other people didn't have.
Yes.
Because it's natural to me. And I remember when I was a kid, I'm firstborn of three, and in my zeal to be helpful, and most of us healers have a zeal to be helpful. I remember I was 10. I told my mother something about what was going on with her and my brother, because it was obvious to me. But she got mad at me.
Yes.
She did what these days we would call invalidate me. I didn't have that word when I was 10. It wasn't part of the language as such at the time. And I began to notice that not everybody could sense some of what I could sense. I mean, I can walk usually into a place, and if the vibe's not right, I'm out of there. Because I've learned to listen. When I was younger, I didn't do that. I thought, well, let me find out. Let me not have a quick opinion. Let me give them a chance. But I'm almost always right with that. So now I don't question. If my vibe says, get out of here, it's dangerous, I'm gone. Okay? So it took a while. And when did I start becoming professional? People would ask me stuff. They would just ask me stuff for my opinion. And most of the time it was correct. And then I began to study. Astrology fascinated me. So, yeah, I do astrology. So I started to study that. I look at numbers, although I'm not a numerologist per se. I can do simple numerology. That's just easy, okay? And stuff like that. And when did I become professional? I was studying this because I'm drawn to it. When you're drawn to something, generally you've got a talent for it. If you think about something a lot, this is for all the viewers or listeners here. Let me see my head. Okay. That means you've got a gift for it. There's something in your soul calling out for it. Develop it. Okay. Develop it. You might have a new talent that doesn't even have a name for. I've read people that had talents. I had to find words to even begin to describe it because it didn't yet exist on the earth.
Yes.
Okay? It's like I just learned literally fairly recently that what I call, and I teach this, it's in the Morph course, it's in all the courses, Morph into the magic of self-love, soul, essence, self, and ego, personality, self. And those are online courses. That, again, I did not know I was traipsing around in the quantum realm. I'm not a mathematician. I can do math, okay, but I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a scientist as such, okay? I'm a metaphysician. So I use metaphysical words because that's what comes out of my mouth. People that are great marketers, that comes out of their mouth because that's their gift. They may have several gifts. All of us have several gifts. And so, and to me, we're going to have a lot more of that. And if you get a vibe, not an ego vibe, not you like you don't, but something deep inside that comes from your inner being, first of all, cultivate that. Cultivate it,
Mm.
cultivate it. Meditate every day, even if it's a few minutes where you get silent and breathe slowly. If you want, I'll teach some breathing attunements, even just short ones that will get you centered and develop that. Because in the times upon us, part of what's going to be and is extremely important is knowing how to be centered. I
Yes.
call, yeah, I call myself a very person. Being centered was not easy for me.
Mm.
I'm very happy, or I can be very sad. I'm very energized, or I'm just very let me alone. I need to retreat from the world. If anybody knows astrology, I'm born under the sun sign of Cancer in both
Mm-hmm.
astrology and in Vedic astrology. So I am very sensitive and very feeling. And my ascendant, at least in Western, is Aries. So I got energy and know how to move, but I operate, feel, and do things from the Cancerian place.
Mm.
Okay?
And what I also find intriguing is that when you talk about like how you knew it even when you were 10, that you had a certain gift, you couldn't put a name on it then,
No.
or could define it, but you were just sort of following your intuition. Was there ever a time when you felt like, whoa, this is hard because people don't really get it, and maybe I should just become, just a conventional person like everyone else? Did you ever have those thoughts, or you just, moved on?
I don't mean to laugh, but
No,
I
no, that's okay.
I attempted to
Yes.
kind of be I'm not. Okay. I even took certain courses in this group that I'm not going to say a name because it might
Mm-hmm.
sound like I'm putting them down. I'm not. Okay. But they're well known. Okay. And I took some of their courses, honest to God, so I could learn how to speak to mainstream people. And
Okay.
that's literally why I did that. And some of their courses were very good. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
they weren't. And when I suggested, because I did, certain parts, they said that's not what they dealt with. And one
Mm-hmm.
of them told me it wasn't. He said I was too woo-woo for some of their courses, and me, my Aries rising, said you need some of what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else was kinder, and I took the course. So they were good courses, but I'm not. I
Mm-hmm.
I attempted to be. I'm just not. So it reached, and I don't want to be. I am
Mm-hmm.
thrilled being who I am. And so,
Yes.
everybody watching and listening, whatever your gifts are, provided they are positive, provided they help the earth, if it hurts the earth, that's not a good thing. Look at what that ego issue or whatever it is you might have inherited from family or whomever or whatever it is, because that's a no, 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 no. If it hurts people, I discovered that without thinking, I knew, I learned this. Was I a teenager? When did I learn this? Okay, maybe as a teenager, something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I have emotions. And I learned that I could know automatically how to send a zinger and really hurt somebody emotionally. I did that once. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I felt and saw the reaction, the result, that's not what I wanted to be. And I made a promise, I made a vow.
Mm-hmm.
I would not do that. I would use whatever, see, emotion. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
connected. Okay, I made a vow I would use whatever my gifts are in a way to be positive because I'm not on this earth to hurt people. Now, if you're going to ask, could I get angry? Yes, I can. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
are there people I sometimes want to go like that? Yes, there are. So I have a thing called the protective prayer that the guides gave me literally around 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was an adult. I'm sorry. And it was clients had asked me, how do we express our anger? Because none of us wanted to put yucky stuff into the universe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There.
So
I
how
mean,
how do you do it?
So the protective prayer, which you can get free on my website, Audrey
Mm.
Now, AudryeNow.com, and that's how to reach me. See, Audrey, AudryeNow.com. Okay, so they gave me the protective prayer, and this is how it goes. You can change the words a little bit. Um, you have to mean it when you say it. You can't just parrot it. That's not how to manifest anything. You have to feel it. You have to have intention behind it. You have to come from your heart and soul. You have to it has to be real. I don't know why it's getting dark. I have no idea why that happens. Whatever. Okay? So here's protective prayer. You are talking to source, whatever your words are, God, goddess, source, Allah, great spirit. I don't care what your words are. Yeshua, Jesus,
Mhm.
whatever they are, Ein Sof, whatever. Okay? You're talking to yourself, you're acknowledging this. You don't have to make a phone call and all that. And this is what it is. And it could be before you're doing a release process, because when you
Mhm.
release process or transformational process, stuff is going to come up.
Yep.
Okay. So it's anything I may say, whatever it may look like, feel like, or sound like, whether I say it with my mouth, my mind, or any other way, is to be taken into the universe as light and love or something higher. Anyone I may mention in any way, shape, or form, consciously or unconsciously, including my own self, is to be protected in light with light and love and in light and love or whatever may be higher. Any places, spaces, vibrations made available within me as a result of this process or whatever I may be doing or saying or feeling is to be filled with light and love. And anyone else who chooses to have light and love, may they have that also. I do this for my highest good, the highest good of all concerned, and the highest good of the universe. And then I close it with Amen, Ashe, Aho, because those words have meaning for me. And that's
Mm.
it. And then if you need to scream, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," okay, about whatever it is,
Mhm.
call someone on the phone and go, "Right, that you do not do. There is no
Mhm.
that no. This is for you. You can go to the wall. You can be in your own place. You could jump up and down and yell. You don't hit someone. You don't. That's not okay. This is for you to get these thoughts, these feelings, this garbage out. There are times that my mind, let's just say, could be on a roll about something I may not like.
Mhm.
We are say it's a time of elections, say there's choices going on about is this going to be a peaceful thing here? Is this going to be a violent thing here?
Mhm.
Is there whatever it might be? And I don't have to point out what's going on the globe whenever anyone sees this. Okay, just look around, okay, or in your private life, or in your family, or in your own self. There's stuff. So if my mind and I catch it going like that, and it's like, okay, I immediately do the protective prayer. And because I have been doing it since 1995,
Mm.
that's a moment or two. The universe, God, source, and I know that I know what this is, know that I mean it. So I can simply go protect the prayer, feel it, sense it, and put it out. You, if you're brand new, you can't do that. You have to be saying the protective prayer, and you can print it out, okay? You don't have to memorize it. And so, and if a word or two is different than I just said it, it's just a word or two. And when you really get the intent and it becomes real for you, then and only then can you say it that way, because you've created that rapport with your inner self, which, by the way, in case anyone does not know, all of us, all of us have a peace, Peace, Piece, of goddess, God, source, Allah, whatever your words are, within us. That's what is our core. That's our essence of what we are. And is it beyond and big? Yes. Is there still some of it in what I call the in between, the place we are between lives? Yes. Do we bring an aspect of that with us? Yes, we do. And that's
So,
what bringing that out with us so
yeah.
we raise our frequency.
Yes, and why is that so important? I mean, someone might listen to us and be like, huh, what are these two going on about? Why is it so important for human beings to become that self-aware, to avoid letting the negative emotions just out there into the universe and trying to raise the frequency? What is it that we are trying to achieve?
Well, what I literally,
Mhm.
do you know Greg Braden? Have you heard of Greg Braden? Okay, so Greg Braden, for anyone who may not have heard of Greg Braden, is, how do we describe Greg Braden? He is a journeyer. He's a best-selling author. He does journeys. He does seminars. He's a scientist. He's brilliant. He's Cancerian, and through his
Of course.
through his, I don't know him. I would like to. Through his mathematical stuff, he has determined that I something about 1% of whatever is about 8,000, and I say 10,000 people on the planet, minimum, are
Hmm.
operating at the level of enlightenment. I say love and light, call it what you want, okay, but it's that vibration, whatever words work for you. That becomes the energy that's easier for other people to achieve. Now, why is this important? Look at the earth. We are having climate change. Who created that? Part of it is that the earth goes through cycles. So there's some
Hmm.
of that occurring. Would it be this horrible if human beings were behaving correctly? No, it would not. So human beings have contributed and continue to contribute to climate change. We, human beings, are the ones who can solve it and heal it. And our emotions contribute to it. So if there's a lot of anger and rage and sadness and regret and guilt, all of this stuff, and no one's taking any responsibility for it, it's a contaminant in the universe. And
Mm.
someone's walking around, and I know what that's like. I've been there. Okay. It's
Hmm.
not like I don't understand depression. I do.
Mm.
Already these things. I've been a lot of the gamut with a lot of different emotions. Okay. I'm not going
Yes.
to, I don't think you need like a whole thing on all that. Um, so it's not like I'm unfamiliar and I've had this client or that client, different words. And most people I have ever met want to live some kind of life where they have love, where they have health, where they have some form of wealth, whether it's a certain kind of money or amount of money, whether it's where
Mm.
they live, whether it's how they live, whether it's creativity, something, some level of productivity. Our species is not just, okay, I'll just sit here like a lump for the next, I don't know, 80 years, 70 years, 90 years, 40 years. Very few people want to do that. And when we find someone that that's all they want to do, they are usually called depressed and,
Mm.
or something. Something isn't quite there because we are an extremely curious, productive species. Okay, that's why we are going to Mars. I know other people have other agendas. I get that. I'm not going to go into every kind of agenda someone can have.
Hmm. Hmm.
I personally am thrilled we're doing this. I also want us to take care of this planet. But I'm fascinated with space, always have been. If it
Yeah.
were possible, I'd be jumping on one of those rockets and going,
Hmm.
ooh, look, 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 because it's fascinating to me. Fascinating. We are not the only species in the universe, far from. There's many. And if we're meeting them, which let's just say we shall be, if okay, if you want to get into that, that's a conversation. Who do we want to meet them with? People that humans that are depressed and don't feel good about themselves and hate themselves and want to hurt, or somebody that has some kind of decent self-regard and has some level of warmth and friendliness and intelligence. Who? Because when people are sad, when people really don't love themselves, and I have been there. I know what that is like. I
Mm-hmm.
truly do. And it's not who I am now. There are moments, but that's not who I am. And it took some work and all of that. So if you, whoever you may be, you singular, you plural, however, want to live some kind of happy life, first of all, it's a choice. One can simply choose that they are going to be happy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you create a way to raise your frequency. Can I teach a simple breathing attunement now to help raise frequency?
Please show us. Yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
one or the other person will benefit from it.
Okay. I don't know. How much time can I use for that? Give me an idea so I know what I'm going to do.
A few minutes.
Okay. So I personally do 3 simple ones myself. I know a lot of deep level, complicated ones. You will learn them in my courses, okay, as well as these 3 simple ones.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a simple one.
Okay,
That will
I'm
fit
going to
in.
teach you one. It's called the lifting process. I
Mm-hmm.
love this one. Okay, I learned it from Patricia Hayes, different than Louise Hay. I studied with Pat. Okay, I call her that just. Okay, I studied with Patricia at what was then called the Patricia Hayes School of Inner Sense Development and the Arthur Ford School of Mediumship. Now, for many, many, many years, they have Delphi University that teaches this stuff and much more. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia. And you can get all that information from me or look it up or whatever it is. The lifting process literally shifts our frequency, these are the words, from the 3rd dimension to the spiritual realm. That's why I called it that. I didn't say the quantum field, okay? And so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to guide you. So get yourself comfortable. If you're driving a car, if you're in the kitchen and you're cutting an apple, okay, if you're feeding a baby, do that, okay? And then listen to this again. But if you're able to, loosen any clothing you may have on that's tight. I'm literally going to open the button on my pants. So, yeah, because I'm going to show you, okay?
Yes.
You need to be really relaxed. If you're a female, if you wear a bra, okay, and it's tight, loosen it. If your belt is too tight, loosen it. Take off your shoes. Anything that's constricting you like that, take it off. This isn't where you want to show how cute you are. This is where you want to breathe. So what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you now, and then I'm going to guide it. You're going to fill with divine white light. Okay, I usually throw in a few more things. You're going to fill with divine white light, and you can go from your root chakra all the way up. Patricia taught it right with the head. I went zooming out. So pull me back. So from the root chakra up. And then all we're going to do, and you don't do anything, you allow. I'll be saying, and you can say silently when you do this on your own, you're getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. I'm going to take off my earrings because the minute I start doing this stuff, they start to pull and vibrate, and that distracts me. Come on out. Okay, and this cute thing, this too. I know I have fuzzy hair.
All good.
Okay, so sit comfortably. You can lie down, don't stand, okay, because if you get like, you don't want to do that. So sit where you're comfortable or lie down, have your head supported. I am going to send you as a channel, and you have it within you, white light, and I usually throw in golden and a few others and then guide you through this. So I'm going to lift my frequency for a moment. I can't talk when I'm doing that. My eyes will be closed. And once I start to speak, simply follow along, listen, and allow whatever it is to happen. And when you come out of it, and I will direct you out of it, don't immediately start moving. Sit there and feel it. So notice how you feel now, whatever that may be. Notice how you're feeling. That way you can compare. and then we'll see how you feel afterwards. So I'm just going to take a couple of moments. This is water, by the way. This is special, not wine. You can drink wine, but this is water. I get teased a lot. Take a nice, deep, soft breath into your heart, filling yourself with divine white light. Gently exhale. Breathe in again from your root chakra at the base of your spine, going all the way up, filling with shiny, white, golden light. Gently exhale. Let go. And once again, fill your whole body, your being, your energy body, your Merkaba, with golden white light. And allow yourself to get higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. You are getting higher, lighter, freer. Breathe in the divinity that you are as you get higher, lighter, freer. Lighter, lighter, higher, easier, freer. You're filled with love. You're filled with blessings. You're filled with health, wellness. You are filled with positivity and ease as you get higher, lighter, freer. You are also stable, blessed, and whatever wealthy may mean for you, you are wealthy. Higher, lighter, and free. Now I shall be silent for a few moments while you enjoy this vibrational energy. You can send healing to any aspect of your being. Your intention will do it. You can send healing to the earth. And if you have someone's permission, you may send it to them. Or you may simply dwell in this vibration. Keep your eyes closed, and I will bring you forth shortly. And now, remember, you can always, always come to this space again. Now, as you feel ready, you may gently and softly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. You may gently, gently, slowly begin to move your feet on your ankles, your hands on your wrists, As you feel ready, you may begin to gently move your body, gently. And as you feel ready, you may gently begin to move your head on your neck. And when your head is facing forward, upright on your neck in a relaxed manner, and you feel ready, you may slowly, softly begin to open your eyes. And before you speak or jump into anything else, notice how you feel. And when you are ready to speak or move, you can write how you feel. You can also write, what did you learn? What might be your next steps? Are you ready?
Thank you.
Welcome. How do you feel?
Calm. Very calm and peaceful.
This is a wonderful practice. And the more one does it, the easier it gets. And it can get this more that one can add. But how often do we need to feel calm and peaceful in our life? This, I don't know how many minutes this was, but it was relatively short amount of time in terms of linear time. And just imagine if people in companies say the word once in politics and government that did this for real, did this, not just that they read it, okay, but really practice this. And we shift. Imagine in your family if this kid is acting up or that, whatever, and you teach this. And kids like this, by the way. I have taught them. They love it. Oh, it tickles. That's what some of them will tell me. I know because I've done this. Okay. What a difference this can be. I like my flower.
Please put it back in. It's very cute. So, the question that has been going through my mind is, I mean, you shared with me that you have been around for 80 years on this planet. I've said it. So, there's a lot you have seen. And I was just wondering, for anyone who listens and who's like, yes, I know I have these gifts in me. Yes, I know I want to go my own way. But where do I get the strength? Where do I get the energy, the frequency to really stay on my path and be brave enough and just be myself, whatever that might be?
It takes something, okay? It isn't just, okay, that's a finger snap. It isn't just that. I wish oh God, okay? First of all, it takes courage. And whether we know it or not, we all have courage. We have different kinds of courage, and we can build courage. I was probably one of the most insecure people you could find anywhere. I didn't want to talk in front of people. And look, I'm talking in front of people. Okay? So it takes practice. It takes getting whatever education someone might need. I'm a natural intuitive, and have I studied? Yes. Studied with other healers. I've studied with other channels. I would get energy work done because everyone I have met so far has some whatever that needs to be shifted. I include myself. If you think that I have not dealt with energy healers, guess again. I have. And they have come to me, some of them. So start getting clear. And it can take experimentation about what is it you, whoever you may be, choose to do. And we all have more than one gift. It isn't like someone told me I can only do one thing. I was like, okay. So you can pick, whatever is calling you at that time. And I know as I was a single mom. I didn't start that way, but that's what I
Mm.
morphed into being at a certain point in time. So, and I was, in my particular situation, was always the one that had to provide the money. Okay. So, whatever it is, you do need to be able to take care of yourself. You do need
Mm.
to be able to find a way to fund yourself. I'm good with words, so I was a lot of things. Okay. I was a computer programmer. I tended bar. I did, okay. I did stuff, not bad stuff. Okay.
Mm.
Stuff and that kind of stuff. And as you start evolving and growing and finding your path, we are in the age of Aquarius, folks. You can get on meetups, take my course, definitely take the Morph course. And I'll give you the link now. It's Audrey Now, Audrye. It's always Audrey Now, AudryeNow.com/morph, MORPH. And if you say that you found this out and found me through Sabrina's podcast, I will give you some kind of special price. Why can I do that? It's my course. Do I know how to do that technically? No. I have my techie guy. That's what he likes to call, who can do that. Okay. So I'm not, I'm less than the best techie person. Okay. But that's it. You start growing yourself, you start releasing whatever it is, pick something you really love because it is a challenge. I can tell you that.
Mm.
Will stuff come up to get in the way? Yes, stuff can come up to get in the way. Does that mean you should quit? No. No. If it's really your passion and it's something that keeps coming up, you are going to do it. You can
Mm.
be the one that was born to do this thing, whatever it might be, this quality, this, that. And because Sabrina mentioned that, yes, I have been on the earth 80 years and counting, which is astounding to me. Truly. And yes, I'm healthy. I can jump, I can dance, I can squat, I can get back up again. I can do all this without help. Okay. And part of when someone said, why would you want to be healthy? Blah, 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 so that as you go through life, you have health.
Mm.
I mean, and not everybody has that. And there are ways to heal of various things. There are so many ways to heal. And does it take some time? Yes, it does.
Mm.
I don't know how to do any of this of a snap of a finger. I like to paint. Oh, who knew? I didn't even know I had talent. Okay. I started drawing and make a gnome because I meditate. And I haven't been doing as much yoga, very little actually, compared to at one point in my life in New York. I lived near a yoga center. I went 3 times a week, now and then more. So, I mean, I was really practicing and oh, so good for you. And there's great teachers online. And my art evolved. It's still evolving. Okay. I got to go to the website. Okay. And more art will be on it. And so to stay with your path, to keep getting encouraged, find 1 or 2 people who really believe in you. And it may not always be the same 1 or 2 people.
Mm.
And get the encouragement from them. Because
Mm.
now and then, any of us can feel like, I don't want to do this. It sucks. All yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's like I don't want to get out of bed. And now and then, I will spend rare, but now and then, that's my day. I'm hanging out, relaxing, and we need to sometimes. We need
Mm.
to. The society in which I live has not made provision as such for times to just let it be and,
Mm.
and just be a person without having to be productive. We're not robots.
Yeah.
Not all of us are. You can go nuts. Do you agree? You can go off, you know. And for people that are more earth signs than I may be, that, I love you all, okay, whatever. Capricorns or Taurians or Virgos, and we all have something of all the signs in the wheel the astrological wheel, but we have more concentrations of different things in different ways and how we activate and how we move. Yes, I do charts, okay? And there's a way to really activate your inner soul, and a lot of people are growing faster. I don't mean they're getting taller, although that too, although they're growing faster than they may have before. And why? Because the times call for it. And now, many of us, I mean, I've been on this earth now 8 decades and counting. And yes, I'm still healthy and alive and well, okay? And I don't look how I looked at 20 or 40 or even 60, but I'm well. And I go to the gym and I go dancing. So it's not like, oh my God, I don't want to live to that, I'll be dead. No, you won't, unless you create that. Your belief system will create whatever that is, and then certain habits. And these breathing attunements and my little gallivanting into what I'm now calling, and I laugh because I think it's funny, going into the quantum field, I still call it raising your frequency. I have realized that helps have longer life. When you meditate, when you pray, also ask that your telomeres are energized. If you don't know what telomeres are, those are the things at the end of your DNA. Apparently, they look like the ends of shoelaces, those that like plasticky thing, and they're called telomeres. Lomere, I think. That's telomeres. When we're little, they're a certain length. And as people get older, generally, this doesn't have to be the case. Don't buy into like things that are not necessarily true. Okay, they can shorten when people have stress. Have you ever had stress? Have you ever been upset? Has that ever occurred? Do you ever get annoyed? You ever get depressed? Okay, I know what they feel like. I'm sure you might know. They shorten. So you, with your own intention and in these breathing attunements, the one I just taught you, and if you don't know it, just watch this again and practice it, or go to my website. Yes, I will say that. I have it somewhere also on my YouTube. And what is it? youtube.com/Audrey Now. What else would it be? slash Audrey Now. I made it simple because I don't remember all of the passwords. Oh God, okay, and all of that stuff. Who remembers all that? And something like now, and you make a chart, and then I forget where I put it, or I have it in 4 different notebooks. I mean, that's, and I'm intelligent, and I can still do that. So I decided I'm making it simple. So that's how you find me. And so when you meditate or pray and all that, also ask that your telomeres be filled with light. And to keep you on target, you may not always have the same people that are going to encourage you. Also, you're encouraging people to do something positive. Don't encourage them to do stupid things. That's not a good thing. Be with them if they're going through a yuck time. Don't let them dump on you. Tell them the protective prayer and let them dump on the wall. Okay, get it out of their system. So
I think that's very powerful what you're saying, because there's a tendency to, you know, suck it all in when someone else has a very low point, but that of course pulls everyone's frequency or energy down. So it's good to make those choices like, okay, how can I be there for them, but not having to soak up all that negativity that brings me down.
Yeah, because even whether you don't call yourself an empath or any of that, we all feel.
Yes.
Some of us more, some of us deeper than others. Okay, that is true. Okay, but everyone feels. If they don't feel, what do we call them? A sociopath. I mean, let's get real. And do we have sociopaths on this planet? Yes. Are some of them in government? Yes. Okay. Are some that's okay? Are they those to listen to? No. And they can be magnetic. They are tricky. Okay. So they are. Okay. That there's a whole thing on that. I described some of that in the ISM course because we need to know this. Okay. It's like people being groomed, which I have in the sex. I have a sex course. It's called Sexuality, Sensuality, Spirituality, Stupendous Sex, Your Intimacy, Healing, Exuberance, course. That's what that is. And how do you find it? audreynow.com/sex. Okay. And when you
finish your point. I have another question after that.
When you do stuff to evolve yourself, and if you read and look at most millionaire billionaires, not the sociopathic ones, okay, they are always educating themselves in some way. If you want to be productive, if you want to achieve whatever on this planet, it's important to educate yourself in various different ways. Do you have to always sit in a class in school? Not these days. No, we have Zooms. We have classes like my classes, whatever Sabrina may teach. You have options. So find them and use them. Please don't use the excuse. And I have heard this, and occasionally I've used it. I don't have the money. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you do. It's just a question of how you're allocating it and what you're allocating. And do I make payment arrangements if the guides tell me to do so? Yeah, I do. Will I expect you to fulfill it? Yes, I will. And you'll help make what the arrangement is that would work for you, by the way. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no excuse, none, not to grow and evolve.
That's a very nice ending to where the conversation has taken us. But I have one last thought that I want us to explore quickly.
Okay.
Quickly. And that's the whole question of sexuality, how it plays into the idea of lifting our frequency and so on, because there are so many different theories about how that plays into it. But I would love to know what you think about the connection between the two, our intimacy, our sexuality, but also our frequency in this world.
Where do I even begin? Okay. Number one, there's so many kinds of sexuality. I was astounded when I wrote this course because, yes, I study, I research, and I know people. Okay. I mean, I know people that identify in any number of different ways. Do I know every kind of identification personally? Probably not. Okay.
Yes.
But number one, as long as your sexuality, whatever it is, isn't dealing with children, years ago, I had clients ask me, what's allowed, what's not allowed? So let's say what's not allowed. What's not allowed is having sex with kids, having sex with animals, having sex with somebody or some that is incapacitated to be able to say yes or no, whether they're drunk or have a mentality of that. No forcing. Okay. Other than that, if it's whatever is classified as an adult, and 13 is not an adult, okay, an adult, and it's a consenting person who has the ability, sorry, I've got hair in my eyes, who has the ability to consent, and you two or more, if that's your choice, with free will choose to do it, okay? And you're not hurting them emotionally, no lying, no good, I love you, and that's not what you mean. What you mean is I want to get some. That's a no-no. Other than that, do it. So in terms of lifting your frequency, one of the highest frequencies some people achieve is when they orgasm. So, and I wish I remembered her name. I quote her in my course and I can't think of her name. But there's a woman that, with her research, said that women benefit from a minimum of 3 orgasms a week to keep their joie de vivre, their energy, however you do it. And ladies, there are many different ways, with or without a partner, okay? And I've had clients give me ways. Case I couldn't think of any, okay? And men, they said, needed, I laughed at this, 20 orgasms a month to be at a certain level of health. So if people are somehow putting that down, or if they are judging that they actually have a sexuality, or they think it's bad, or they think it's not spiritual because somebody said so, or they read it in some book that whatever it's supposed to be. I
Mm.
tell you, even the spiritualist of the books have mistakes. Why do we call the creator, and I don't, okay, but why do many people call the creator of all a he? Not a he,
Mm.
not,
Mm.
not a she. It's beyond. So I crack jokes on it and say it's non binary. I do have a sense of humor because it's beyond that. These are
Mm.
human definitions of the all in all, the all in all that made everything, the multiverse, everything. And we're going to give it human attributes? No,
Mm.
no. It's beyond human attributes. And what is it at its essence, from what I've been able to discern? Love. I've had a near death experience, and I literally, oh God, every time I talk about it and go back, in that near death experience, I was in the light. I didn't die. Okay, it was a near death. And the lovingness and the see this? And the amazingness of it is beyond any kind of words. And I've got words, okay, that one can describe. It is more loving than the most loving. See these colors? The colors are way more brilliant. So the all in all, the God, the goddess, the source, the Allah, the great spirit, the Yeshua, okay, is lovingness. It's
Mm.
going to beat the living daylights out of you. That doesn't mean that do crummy, awful, disgusting things on the earth and you won't have to go through a life review, so to speak, when you pass on. Of course, you will, okay, and learn on a very experiential level what that was like. You get to sometimes feel what other people felt when you did whatever you did. So, in terms of sexuality and raising your frequency, pick wisely. Or if you need to experiment, experiment. I mean,
Mm.
be real with it, take care of yourself. Make sure you get the person tested for any number of, what are they now called? Not STDs, STIs, sexually transmitted. I forgot what they were calling it, not the disease, whatever it is, okay? Something, okay? And make sure you're not passing something on, and whatever else there may be. Be real with the person. Whatever you might need to do or not do about COVID or whatever else may be going on. And then enjoy yourself and give thanks. Give thanks. Be grateful. Have gratitude
Mm.
for being alive. Have gratitude that you can feel. Have gratitude you can express. Have gratitude for all of this. And for heaven's sakes, have gratitude for orgasms because they are so cool, whether they are self generated or other generated or whatever. Again, I've had people who gave me various ways that they come up with for that. So if you need help with that, it's out there, okay? Or take the course because the course will help people heal if you've been raped. If you, even women who had a C-section that they didn't want to have negative effect inside of themselves. And this course will help you heal from that, okay? Because some women felt they were deprived of the
Mm.
of giving birth because they had what was considered an unnecessary C-section. Some are necessary. I had an emergency C-section, and it's a good thing I did, or I wouldn't have.
Mm.
Okay, it's a near-death experience. Okay, and all of that kind of thing, and there's no reason. And I know people who have been tortured. One of my clients back in New York, a lovely woman, and I was doing Rohan therapy on her, and that's another. And she released some of the torture she had gone through in her native country, which we're not, okay? So there are ways to heal this, and do I need to go through which countries and whatnot and torture it? There are ways to heal from this. Is it just a finger snap? No, it's a process. And lovingness. And why is that important? Because we are all connected. We are all connected. When I read and found out that many tree roots are all connected, so it's like one, and mushrooms, fungi. If you have Netflix, what is it called? Fungi, fancy fungi, something fungi, or fungi something. Watch that. Okay, they're all connected. And human beings, even if we've never met in person, even if I don't like him, I don't like her, and all that, we are still connected. If you know anything about quantum physics or whatever it's called now, quantum something, okay? What looks solid is not solid. It's mostly space. And everything is connected. So if somebody is doing some nefarious, whatever it is, you may not want it. So you have to do your part to help do something positive and cleanse your energy. Literally, I do 3 different breathing attunements regularly. The one I showed you is one that I may take a little more time, but that's okay because, with this, and I send out healing energy every single day. And then certain people get special, like my grandkids, and like that, and others. So create a practice. Do it daily. If you skip a day, go back the next day. Don't go, oh my gosh, I skipped. No, just continue wherever you left off. Put yourself down. You're simply lowering your frequency. Learn why you didn't do it. Yes, be accountable. Be responsible about it. Don't be punitive. That doesn't help. And keep going. So does that help answer the question?
Yes.
It's
well,
really
we started off. Yeah, no, the essence of everything we have spoken about today is really love, and the connection, how everything in this universe is connected and how it helps us, but also those around us, however we want to define it. When we raise our energy, when we want to grow, when we want to, really live as who we are in a loving way and send out good energy, healing energy.
The higher one's now, I'm not the scientist who measured this, okay? That go find the scientist, okay? I read about it. But the higher someone's frequency becomes, the bigger influence they have. So why am I doing it? One, I like how it feels. Okay. I'd rather feel good than depressed and morose and all of that. I personally prefer that. So call it selfish. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm not, no, I'm not. Yes, I don't care. Okay. I care, but I don't care. So, pardon me. And so if my raising my frequency, which I like because it feels good, also helps others, that's a win-win-win-win-win.
That's an awesome, yeah.
Okay, it's like, why not? And when I feel barf, I don't want to get out, and now and then I do. So I stay in bed or I do my meditation and all that, so I don't stay in that space. And I have friends I call on who tell me that this, and when they feel, they'll call on me and we remind them who they are, or just send them a hug. Hey, baby, I got you.
Yes.
I'm here for you. And sometimes just expressing, okay, it gets rid of it. And I do protective prayer and I don't dump on people. I don't. And that gets it moving. And you're allowed, I said this before, you're allowed to take time for yourself. It's mandatory. People are allowed to sleep. If people don't get enough sleep, it throws off not only our circadian rhythm, but our whole emotional, energetic thing. And if people don't get sleep and eat late at night, that's a good way to gain weight. And that's not what most people want.
Yes, you're right. So We'll end this wonderful conversation here.